are live, I think. Hang on here. We're not. I think we're live. It says we're live.
We'll try it.
But it says here that we're too early. We haven't started yet.
Yeah, that's what
We're kind of following this as we go.
Okay.
So let's see if we actually show up live. But we are recording, so this will be.
Well, how come that one's stuck? This
because that is the master. This is just what everybody else sees. So let's see if we're here.
Hey everybody, welcome to the July webinar here from Maher Studios. I'm Mark Wade along with Tom Crowell, my buddy Ken Groves over here. And we are live tonight at the Vent Haven International Ventriloquist Convention here on July 14th, a couple days before it starts. We want to give you a couple updates on things, let you know what's some new things that are going on, and just have some fun in general. Guys, I'm going to start out if you don't care. I just got here today, this morning early, and I'm going to kind of give you an idea of what a typical day would be before we get started with the convention, kind of a little insight to it. When I got here this morning, of course, you check in, you see the hotel people, talk to the front desk people, and find out where the packages are. When I say packages, I mean things like our name badges, where they put those, and other kinds of information. Tom just played.
I'm playing it back so I can see what.
Playing it back.
We have Christopher Ortiz says you are live. Woo! Sue is here. Liz is here from Canada. Ken Dunn is here. Wayne is here.
Good.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm glad.
Guys,
yeah, let us know you're out there.
Yep, let us know you're out there. We appreciate you guys. There may be a slight delay because we are on the hotel internet.
Yeah.
Johnny's here.
Sure.
Johnny's. Oh, hi. Okay.
Okay. Hi, Johnny.
Hi, Johnny. I saw that and I was like, what did he say? Oh, hello,
Look
Tanya.
again. See what it is. Tanya's on.
Tanya's on.
Okay.
Oh, wait, Gary's here.
Gary.
Ken's here still.
Like I said, we're live from the Vent Haven Convention, and we're going to kind of give you an idea, and we have our IVS pins on. Show me your IVS pins, guys.
Got the IVS pins.
Right here, all some IVS pins.
And our Maher shirts.
And our Maher shirts with our new logo on it and all that, so we make sure you see all that.
Hi, Joey. Hi, Dave.
Yep, all coming on board here with us. That's great.
Cody.
That's enough, Ken. Oh, boy, you better
Doodles
calm
here.
yourself here.
Anna's here. Jay's here. Joey's here.
And the list is growing and growing.
Eddie made it. Eddie, you finally made one.
There you go. Well, like I said, we're here at the convention getting things ready for you to come in, and hopefully you're going to be joining us very soon. Wednesday, we kick off this convention, and there's a lot of behind-the-scenes planning that people don't realize that goes on. For example, when I got in this morning, we had to find out where the name badges are that the Northern Kentucky Convention and Visitor Bureau does for us.
whole cartload of stuff.
Oh, my, yeah. Packages are sent in from other dealers.
Guess who loaded it all?
Yeah, Ken and I drug it upstairs here.
Is that the stuff you brought down to the Toronto room then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Toronto. That'll be.
That was supposed to be kept?
The name badges, I stopped for a second when you said this. Oh, my God, they're gone. Now, the name badges are still upstairs. We're good. Well, like I said, this coming in, we check in with those people to find out where all those things are. I let the hotel people that we deal with know that we are in the building and that we're ready to talk with them about some special things. We had lunch today, Tom and I and Ken and Dan Horn, talking about the convention, also about some special projects, which we're going to tell you more about as we go along here. And anyway, had dinner tonight with Tom Ladshaw. He's one of our Board of Advisors meeting and the dealer, trying to get some ideas on some of the things that we need to work on with the dealers for this year and some great ideas for next year. Now, tomorrow, Ken and I will meet in the afternoon with the hotel staff. We'll look over everything with them, go over the sheets, and we have every day we have a sheet of activities that goes on, and we have to look through all those things, check the times, check where they are, and initial and sign off on all those papers. And then tomorrow night at 7:30, then I have a staff meeting with all the different department heads that are going to be working here on the convention with us. So there's a lot of planning. We start in September. We work all the way through. In fact, we're still getting registrations. I got 3 in today. 3 in today.
Plan ahead.
That's it. They had their hotel rooms, but they didn't know if they could register still. Yes, we don't sell out of the conventions. You can, as long as you have a place to sleep, like a hotel room or your car, I don't know, just any place. But I'm not in a car. You have a place to stay, that's great. You can come in and register on the spot, or you can still contact me by email, and we'll take care of it. So that's all coming up now. Convention's going to be a great one. We have Willie Tyler. I talked to him on the phone today. Willie's coming in, and we'll be here to see him and watch him perform. make him an IVS member, and just to have some fun with all these things.
Jay Johnson will be here.
Jay Johnson will be here. Todd Oliver will be here. Jim Barber will be here.
Ken Gross will be here.
Ken Groves will be here.
Oh, I heard he was going to be sick.
Tom.
No.
That he's usually sick.
Yeah.
And then Tommy's here with us, and so we're gonna have
Mark
have
Wade.
I'm here.
He's
too.
a great man. He'll be here.
He better be.
I'd pay these guys to say that. But anyway, like I said, it's going to be a great convention. We want you to be a part of it. If you haven't decided yet, it's still not too late. So
The
come.
most important person will be here, though.
Yes.
Jody Wade.
Yes, that's right. You'll meet her at registration. So we want you to make sure you get here. And so I think we're going to be off to a good start.
Without Jody, nobody gets a name tag.
That's
Without
right.
a name tag, nobody goes anywhere.
Right.
That's right.
That's right. You can't get in. You can't get out of the rooms. You can't get out.
We're not letting you back out.
It's free to get in, $10 to get out.
Yep.
But
And you want to.
yeah. So we have a lot of fun there with that. You'll have a chance to get in and see. We've got 28 dealers this year, 14 in each room, which is a bumper crop of dealers. Anything from sound systems to puppets to ventriloquist figures to even vent memorabilia. So we've got all kinds of things here for you at Vent Haven. So this is the place to come. Do a little bit of event shopping for yourself and for somebody else. So all that's here as well.
Just out of curiosity, and there's a bunch of things we're going to be answering here soon, but I saw
Sure.
this come across. David Carr just occurred with, he said, I hope the walkie-talkies are there.
Yes, the walkie-talkies are here. We have those, don't we?
This is going to be the first year that we have communication from backstage out to the soundboard, which will be help make things a lot smoother, we hope.
Right.
But
Right.
thank you, Dave, for getting those and for sending them out here.
Dave and Dave Jr. are stage managers. They do a great job getting things on and off the stage very efficiently. So thanks to you guys for doing that for us.
Okay.
Cool.
Did you already tell him Pete Michaels is here?
Yep, Pete's here. I didn't mention Pete. Sorry.
I got the touchy scar.
Yeah, Pete had that quadruple bypass surgery a few months ago. We're glad he's back in to performing and back here with us this year. So that's
And
good.
he seems to be doing great. I mean,
Yeah.
he seems, he's very happy. He's healthy. He's getting himself back, and he's doing shows. He does that Love Me Do Beatles tribute band, and he's been doing great with that. They've been playing a lot of gigs. He's been doing a lot of bench shows, from what I understand. So he's really getting back on track and getting himself back, there, and that's great. We're thrilled for him and his family.
I got a question. I wonder how many people are already here at the hotel and are down in the lobby watching this.
That's a good question.
That's a very good. If you
Yeah,
guys are
we're
down in the
gonna-
lobby, let us know.
Yeah, and after the webinar, I'm going to head down there. I'll see if anybody's there. So hang out,
Yeah,
because
why not? Let's
we'll
do
come
it.
down and we'll see you guys if you're down there.
See what's going on down there. By the way, the convention this year highlights comedy writing. We have different lectures and workshops about comedy writing material. Yes, Ken.
Why is that important?
Well,
Why can't I just take it off the internet?
well, because it looks like you took it off the internet.
It sounds like
It sounds like it took it off the internet. Like I said before, anybody can get a string of unrelated jokes off the internet and say it's a routine, but that doesn't fly. Your audience will know the difference, and more importantly, you'll know the difference. So this is important. You can buy another puppet, you can buy another sound system, you can buy another table, but you need comedy material. You have to have something to say. Nothing to say, you're dead in the water.
That's
so
right.
This is what we're working on, comedy material, and also honoring Willie Tyler this year while we're at it. Ken, you're doing good.
Coming back to comedy material.
Yeah.
Just for the information, just so you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Oh,
Just so you know.
Well, we're going to
Sounds
talk
good.
about that in just a little while.
Oh, I thought we were already started.
No, I haven't done my stuff
Tom's
yet.
got
I'm sorry. I was
little
gonna,
note or
I
two
was
saying.
going to say a couple things, but I just want to say, Doodles just said, they're talking about walkie-talkies, high tech. These are not just regular walkie-talkies. They are, headset configurations that David bought, so that we can hear and we're not, interrupting the shows and everything. The convention is shaping up to be amazing. So much going on. There's a lot going on here. But let's talk about a couple things that are happening today. You talked about your day.
Right.
I spent the day with Dan Horn, and I posted that on Facebook, and a lot of people were going, oh, you ought to turn that into an IBS special or something. Actually, Dan and I are working on a course for Maher that is going to teach puppet manipulation. And just based on what we did today and things we talked about over dinner tonight, this is going to be an incredible course. Now, we shared with you in advance on Mike Palma's course. We told you when that we were doing it. We are doing the same type of thing with Dan. What the end product will be, we don't know how much it's going to be, but it's going to be like a college course in puppet manipulation. It's going to take you from beginning to end.
Well, Palma's course, I saw some of it for the first time. That's incredible, Tom. That was a great job on that. That looks great.
It's really good.
And the quality is great.
Well,
good job on it.
Well, yeah, I could have done it. Mike did an incredible job on that. His son did a lot of the videotaping. I went down and helped him start it, and then Mike's son took over because he had some video experience.
About how many hours is that total course? If you start
that whole course is about 4+ hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's 4+ hours, and it takes people. You literally see Mike do the stuff. It's in a book. You read how it's done, and it kind of gives you an idea, but you still have to play with it. In this one, Mike shows you exactly step by step, and you see him doing it, and it's different than anything else that's out there.
Yeah, and it amazes me. I build custom cars and hot rods. Well, people spend $100,000, and I build them, and it's no problem. I can't build a vent figure to save my life. I have tried 3 or 4 times, and it's awful. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. And so that course really interests me as far as how to do it, because I've read the books. Mm-hmm. I can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we always try at Maher. We try to offer things that you can't get anywhere else vent-wise. We have new courses, new things all the time. We're working on new things for you that'll be popping up here in the future.
And I think Tom mentioned or said it right, that these are basically college courses in this stuff. It's just not,
it's not just a book. It's not just a video that talks about it. You actually see it being done.
And Dan's is going to be the same way.
And Dan's is going to be the same way. And the Palma course, I wanted to talk about that briefly because it's gotten incredible reviews.
Yeah.
We had Joe LaPena checked it out. He was really impressed. Brian, I can't think of his last name. I'm sorry, Brian. He checked it out, loved it. We had Jimmy V is reviewing it. Donald Woodford has one of those Mike Bros kits, and he's never built it because he wasn't sure what to do. And even though he followed the online tutorials that were there, I think Al Stevens put that out.
Right.
Even though he followed that, he wasn't able to get it to work out right. So, he's followed this course. Now he's going to start picking that thing up and doing it.
Joey, put your clothes on. We can see you, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. What's he doing?
I have no idea.
I'm just reading the things on the side here.
Oh.
And
lightsaber with Yoda. Yeah, I gotta agree with that. The lightsaber with battle with Yoda. Dan Horns is going to be very amazing. It's going to take time to finish, guys. We're recording as much of it as we can here. There may be follow-up stuff that we have to do. It's going to take a lot of editing. Dan has specific sets of video that he wants to put into it. We're going to do some slow motion things so that you can see exactly how the puppet moves and you can learn how to follow those motions. There's a lot of stuff in that. But anyway, so that's what I've been doing today. That's new product coming out by Maher, and that's Mike Palma's. The other thing I want to talk about, if you're not coming to the convention, don't forget that the Learn Ventriloquism blog is going to have the ConVENTion. And a lot of people have misconceptions about what that is.
Explain that, will you, Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to find out.
I've got to tell you. Nina Cooper started the ConVENTion.
We love you, Nina.
And she started it on the World Vent List. And it was a post that, here's a puzzle or here's a game, here's something to do for the guys who weren't attending.
Right.
And she couldn't do it this year, and she asked for somebody who would take it over. And since I had nothing else to do, I said,
find things when to do.
I said, okay, I'll do it. And what I've done is I've created a series of blog posts that are all automated to release. And every morning, starting Wednesday morning, you're going to get a schedule of the events that are going to happen that day on the ConVENTion. The ConVENTion is not the convention.
Right.
You're going to have things come up, and we're going to tell you, this is what we're doing at the convention now. Since you can't be there, this is what you can do. And it's going to have, we've got some special mini lectures that'll be, short videos that some people have put together. David Crone jumped in, Mike Palma jumped in, Neil Bacon jumped in. They created some mini lectures. Mark did an article for it. Ken was on a podcast with Matt Bailey that was not the one that he played on Ventriloquism Weekly. It's totally different. All these things are going to release for you people at home. And the people at the convention can go back and look at this stuff. We're going to cover some comedy writing. We're going to give you a flavor of what's happening here, but we can't give you what's happening here.
Let me jump in, Tom, if I could. I'll jump right in. Anyway, one of the reasons we can't do that, this is these people that are coming and working for us, lecturing, performing, doing workshops. This is their intellectual property. This belongs to them. And many of them sell lecture notes. Many of them have their own courses and things out. We can't take their material and just put it out there for them. It's difficult sometimes to ask professional ventriloquists. That's Ken's big foot.
He's got shoes now.
That's right.
Johnny didn't believe that was Ken. He wanted to see his feet.
Clown shoes.
That's it.
We got him shoes.
That's it. We wanted.
Sorry.
It's all right. Like I said, we have people coming in, and sometimes they're a little leery to come in. They're saying people are going to steal my material. I do my A act. They're going to take that. They're going to take my things. So we have to be very careful putting out their intellectual property. So that's why we can give you a flavor, but we can't give you all of that. And I know people have written us and asked us about, can you do DVDs? Can you put it out there on the internet for us? No, we can't. Unfortunately, we need you to come to the convention and experience it for yourself.
Also, just for a second here, let me interrupt. A lot of people are saying on the thing here that they're frozen and they're got a lag time here. We're using the hotel's internet, and that's why we have a lag time. Tom, will this be on?
There will be a
YouTube?
replay available that will be on YouTube,
Okay.
and we will eventually, as soon as I can, I'll put it on the Maher site on the other webinar. On the webinar page, so you can see it down there too. So if you go back to where you signed in, I think it'll be down below that, or we'll make a special webinar replay page. And you'll get a link a couple hours after the thing is over because you signed up, and it'll tell you where you can catch the replay. We apologize again if it's locking up, but I wanted to share one other thing here. When you are thinking about the convention at home, you're going, I'd like to go, but I can't. The people who come here pay to come here.
Right.
And it supports the Van Haven Museum.
Right.
And so I know you're saying if you got a DVD, you could sell it and it would support the Van Haven Museum. But again, it's the intellectual property thing. Plus, the people who come here are investing in being here. They're investing in getting better. So we can't just give that stuff away. It wouldn't be fair to the people who attend. And you can't get that experience. It's like Jeff's show.
Right.
You know, I've talked to people who've seen Jeff's show over and over on a DVD, and they go, I'm kind of tired of the jokes. You go see Jeff live, he tailors it to the audience. It's fresh. It's spontaneous. It's unlike seeing a DVD. And it's the same thing here. When you are interacting with all these different people, when you can talk to somebody in the hall and then go in and see a lecture and then talk to that lecturer over lunch, it's amazing. It's an experience.
Whole different thing.
And then another thing too, if I can sit at home and just get the DVD next week, why come here and spend the money? And then what will happen, nobody will come here, and we won't have a convention.
And we won't have a museum.
It'll all fall apart, and we won't have a museum.
It's like a domino theory.
Exactly.
One thing happens, another thing happens.
Yep. Right.
So believe us when we say that it's better to be here to experience the Van Haven Convention live and in person rather than to watch it on a DVD or on a broadcast.
And the ConVENTion, like I say, will give you a lot of the flavor of it. It'll give you activities that you can do. There's going to be some contests. There's going to be a chance to donate to the Van Haven Museum. That's going to be in the raffle night. Right. And we encourage you to do that because the person who donates the most to Van Haven is going to win the $100 Axtell prize, which Steve Axtell has graciously donated. So that's the ConVENTion. If you're not signed up for the ConVENTion, go to the learn-ventriloquism.com/news, and that'll take you to the blog, and just sign up your email thing, and you'll get a notice by email every time it updates. And you're going to get like 8 updates a day, maybe more.
Right.
So that's the ConVENTion. Now, we talked about comedy writing for the convention.
Right.
And we wanted to share some information that'll help you improve tonight. So, Ken, this is your baby.
Me?
Start out.
Right now?
Yeah, you're in.
Start out.
Well, a lot of people, call me and want me to sit down with them and talk with them about comedy writing and want me to mentor them on the comedy writing. And they say, what's the number one thing you think you have to do comedy writing? and I ask them what is the history of their puppet, and they say, well, it was made by Conrad Hartz. I said, no, that's not what I mean. I mean, where did the puppet come from? Well, he was made by Conrad Hartz in South Carolina. No, that's not what I mean. What is your puppet's background? Well, he used to be a tree, and now he's a puppet. No, tell me the history of your puppet as far as what he's done, where he's been, what he likes, what he doesn't like, what his favorite TV show is, and stuff like that. And they can't do it. They go, it's a puppet. I don't know. And see, if you don't have a good personality profile, you can't write good quality material for that puppet.
You don't have a character. You
Right,
just have a prop.
You have a prop, a puppet.
You're fighting with yourself. You
Right.
don't know the character, so you're trying to write for somebody you don't know.
See, when you have a personality profile, you have some guidelines.
Right.
And when you have guidelines, that takes your focus from this big down to this big. And the smaller you can get your focus, the better your comedy writing will be. A lot of people sit down and go, I'm going to write a 45-minute program right now. Your parameters are too big. You have no focus.
Right.
You can't write. What you should say is, I want to write 1 2-line joke, and it's something my puppet can use. My puppet loves to go to Walmart.
Okay.
So now you've taken your focus and you've got it down to Walmart. So how do you figure out something on Walmart? You go to Walmart, you sit down, you watch the people. Now, if you had a bad day, you got up in the morning and your self-esteem is low, and you're feeling bad about yourself, and you're just depressed, go to Walmart, sit down, watch the people. 10 minutes later, you're going to have self-esteem coming out your wazoo, okay? And
That's a technical term.
and that is what you can do by going to Walmart and sitting down and watching these people. You're going to have all kind of material. You're going to have all kind of stuff you can talk about. And say, well, okay. Well, another place you can go to is ask your puppet, what's his favorite restaurant? Oh, it's Waffle House. Oh, man, you haven't lived. You went to a Waffle House. Oh, the waitresses at Waffle House, the one missing her left front tooth, she's hot. You know, and you know, you can build all kind of stuff. I mean, his favorite store is Walmart. His favorite restaurant is Waffle House. Go to those 2 places, sit down, look around with your pen and paper, and start writing down what you see, and you can turn that into material that quick.
But you have to know what the puppet likes. What
Yes.
is it? It might not be Walmart and Waffle House. You might have a hobo who wants to go to the Ritz-Carlton, and you know, he has $1 million budget, or I mean, $1 million lifestyle on a $2 budget.
Right.
So he has to make allowances.
Or he might want to go down to the soup kitchen at the First Missionary Baptist, Lutheran, Methodist, all Baptist, all
The Holy Mackerel, we're spectacular tabernacle, Church of the Ascending Dissension.
That's
There
right.
you go.
See, you got to have a personality profile to help build your character. Once you have a character, it's easier to write comedy material for.
You may have a puppet sitting on a shelf at home for a reason. People say, do you do the character profile or do you buy the puppet? They'll see a puppet and they go to the convention. They'll say, that puppet, I can use that puppet. I'm going to have fun with that puppet. And a year from now, it's still sitting on the shelf.
And it ends up on eBay, or they try
Right.
to bring it back to the convention to sell, which is not a good idea because that hurts the dealers that are here.
Right.
But
The idea also is when you have that puppet that just jumped right there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like I said, let me finish my thought.
do it.
When you have that puppet, you know, a lot of people buy puppets they can't use because of that. They didn't figure it out that you had to know the puppet, what you're going to do with it, what the profile of that puppet's going to be, and then you can move on to your material.
And that whole thing narrows your focus down. Now, the second thing I would
Think of your favorite TV characters or movie characters. They have a personality profile. When they're writing a book, they have a statement as to what that character is like. An author writes a description of each character, so the character. If you go back and look at your favorite comedy teams, there's a greater contrast between the characters. So as you're creating this profile, you've got to be very specific. You've got to be able to picture this character in your head.
And many of the cartoon characters even pattern themselves after other comedy characters early on. Yogi Bear, for example, was Art Carney in The Honeymooners.
Right.
Some of these other characters as well.
And the big thing Tom mentioned there is they have to stay in character. You can't bounce in and out of character. That messes it all up. You've got to his mama this, his mama that. He talks about his family history. And you got to know, does your character have any siblings? Does your character have a crazy mama that can't cook? And he talks about how bad her food was. And if you take A1 and put it on a piece of burnt toast, you got steak. You know, that's how his mama cooked, you know, and stuff like that. So having that character profile down, and Tom, they mentioned in here that you had one on the June issue of the IVS. And if you're an IVS member, you can go to the June issue, and there it is for you. Another thing that IVS gives you, and also in the Creating Character book, available through the Maher thing, there's a big one in
big
there.
Profile. Yeah, the IVS one was a basic one.
Right.
There's Mark has one in the script writing course
Right.
that is available through Maher.
Right. Comedy writing for kid shows.
Well, the comedy writing for kid shows, that's coming out very soon. That's not out yet, but the one when we did the interview last year, we put that together for the script writing.
Sure.
And then also there's a basic one in the Learn Ventriloquism course. The character profile is very, and you don't necessarily have to, if you remember the IBS, please go download that, but you can get those out of books. You can find character profiles online. You don't have to necessarily have to use what we give you, but we kind of customized it toward the vent, population, the vent character rating.
Right.
And so that's so important to have that down, so it's in stone. You've got to put it in stone. That narrows your focus and it'll help you write. Second thing I say on this subject is it has to be in a conversation. You have to have a believable conversation between you and the puppet. It can't be knock knock, who's there? Chicken who? That's not a believable conversation.
No.
Just like we're having here, we're having a conversation.
Right.
It has to be a believable, realistic conversation, because it's supposed to look like, on stage, you are supposed to look like two different people, two separate personalities, having a conversation back and forth. And the jokes look like ad-libs. The jokes look spontaneous, like they just happened. The puppet's being a smart aleck or whatever, and boom, there the comedy is. Ha, ha, ha.
And just remember also, when you're writing your material, in real life when you're having a conversation, not every line is a pun. Puns are fine.
I love you, Mark. I love you.
Little tiny sprinkle, just sprinkle a little one in here or there.
I have to rewrite my whole show.
If you use more than one pun per show,
a pox be on you.
no, I just hate puns.
Well, like I said, try to vary those kind of things. If you're going to use it, sprinkle, and then very lightly. It's seasoning. A pun is a seasoning to your stew.
Yeah. And I call it curry. Curry. Very little.
So just scrape it off and throw it away.
Yeah. But the conversation part is what draws the people in.
Right.
It makes people go. We had an incident in the theater the other night where our stand-up comedian was telling a joke. It was an old joke. Everybody knew the joke, and the audience finished the joke for him before he could. And if you're just telling old jokes with your puppet and everybody's heard them, they've already beat you to the punchline.
Yeah.
But if you do it in a conversation and you do it so they don't see it coming, oh, it's the funniest thing ever then. And yeah, it's an old joke, but it's in a conversation form, and they don't see it as just a plain set-up punch joke.
Right.
And that's important.
Yeah.
So
it's got to be comfortable for the audience, like they're watching, and how you work with the puppet and manipulate the puppet along with that brings them in so they're not eavesdropping on a private conversation.
Yes. And so many events are missing that. When I will go to YouTube and I watch all of you, and I do that.
He does.
I do. And there is so many. It's just a setup and punch joke. There's no connection between you and the puppet. There, you know, and CW, when he comes out in the theater, Ken, how you doing? Looking good today in that ugly shirt, man. And I'll say, CW, how was your day today? I'll tell you what, I almost died today. It was terrible. And we go into a joke. Boom. See, we have a conversation. We have a little, how you doing, what's going on kind of thing going on first. Or as I bring him out, he's yelling at me about the plumbing's broke or something's wrong inside the house and he almost drowned. And thank God you got me out of here. And we talk like, it's just not knock, knock, who's there? No. It's got to be a believable conversation between two separate individual people.
And what's your segues and how you go from one type of a subject to another type of the conversation? It's like you ran out of jokes about your car. Now you're going to talk about jokes about your mom. Now you're going to talk about jokes about something else. You know, have some kind of a hook to go from one subject to another, but still keeping with the puppet's character.
Right. That's very important. And then it does, if you do your segues right, it doesn't sound like jokes at all.
Right.
It sounds like a situation comedy. It sounds like a great conversation. And the art of conversation is lost anymore. You know, because people they talk like this now.
Talk with their thumbs.
I was doing shows in Virginia Beach. I actually had a guy on one side of a tree texting his wife who was on the other side of the tree.
Yes.
And I'm like,
yes.
Seriously?
Right.
Just walk over.
Yeah.
I started messing with the guy, and I'm like, who are you texting in the middle of the show? And he's like, my wife. And I'm like, where's she? And she's like, I'm over here. I was like, seriously?
Right. 3 feet apart. Yeah. That's what conversation has come to in our country.
And that makes it easy because you don't need lip control.
Yeah.
That's right. Right. Just set your
puppet up on one side with a monitor.
And you just walk away. Just leave it there.
So the art of conversation is lost, and we need to study that so we can understand it, because all of us are built to tell a story or to hear a story. That's how we're wired. That's
right.
The way it is. And, you know, we sat around campfires for 1,000,000 years and listened to, I went out and killed a saber-toothed tiger today, and all that, ooh, you know, that's how we're wired to tell a story. And when you have your puppet up there and you have a great conversation with a great story going on, your audience will listen.
Right.
It's just like when Walter talks about his wife and everything that's going on there, and he wants to know what's going on with Jeff and his new wife and blah, blah, blah. Everybody's drawn into it because it's a story. And these two people are up there talking about, you know, they've been married forever and I just got married, and that whole conversation back and forth.
And that gives them a great juxtaposition because Walter's been married forever, Jeff's newlywed.
Right.
So there again, it's a contrast.
Right.
And your character, if you have that contrast, you can create comedy.
Right. And you can talk about anything. I take CW out at the theater and set him up there, and he goes, we better not be in your garage again. Don't ever take me back to your garage again. And I go, whoa, every time you take me out in the garage, I'm the crash test dummy. We're not doing that no more. You forget that. And he talks about my garage and the cars I build and stuff like that. And, you know, it's just that conversation. We just don't set up and go, hi, I'm Ken Groves. This is my little buddy CW. Say hi, CW. Hi there. No.
Yeah.
It's a conversation. He's yelling at me about something, talking to me about something, and then I bring it to the audience. What's this? What do we got?
David, will they have a saber-toothed tiger puppet for sale? No, we killed it.
Just like that joke.
Yeah, this is some good stuff.
So it's so important. Those two things. You've got to have a personality profile, and it's got to be in stone, and it's got to be detailed. And you have to work on the art of conversation. That will narrow your focus down, and your comedy writing will be much easier. And during the convention here, we'll talk about other ways to narrow that focus down even more and more and more. And then comedy writing is not that hard once you get your focus under control. and you know what you want to talk about and why and where and how it applies to the character of the puppet.
It's got to make sense for the puppet. It's got to make sense to the audience. And if your story's good and they can follow the storyline because you did a clear job of presenting it, then you got good comedy.
Right. And if it's something they can all relate to, like when I tell my Walmart, I do a whole thing on Walmart. When I do everybody howls because everybody's been to Walmart. And, you know, he says, hey, every day at Walmart's like Halloween. Come on in and watch the freaks, you know. And everybody laughs because we've all seen them there.
They've all been there at one time.
Yeah. And so it's if you have a subject that everybody can relate to and knows about, that even helps even so much more.
Okay. Now, we have talked about the character profile and how important it is. We've talked about a little bit about making your comedy stronger through creating the stories and not using the puns and the IBS and the other stuff. And I think maybe it's a good time at this point to start closing down this.
Why?
Well, I'm just thinking.
I don't want to, Tommy. I don't want to.
He'll pull the plug on you in a second.
The thing is, it's we've got a long day tomorrow. I'm working with Dan Horn all day tomorrow on his course again. We've got to set up sound at some point. We've got a staff meeting for the important people, and I think I'm supposed to attend.
Yep, I'll let you go.
Yeah, okay.
Mark and I are just going to skip and hold hands and just have a great day.
No, he's going to skip and hold hands. I have to meet with the hotel. All right.
I do too.
But we've got a busy day tomorrow, and I think it gives them a chance to. What we'd like to see you guys do is start creating your character profiles and think about the different comedy that you can create using that, but literally figure out what your character is. And if you do that, then we can add more onto this next time and continue to grow this, as an ongoing situation to help you write more comedy.
Know your backstory inside and out on your character.
It's not your puppet. It's not your puppet. It's you. Right. That's what creates the comedy. Right. You. The puppet has very little to do with it. You can take a sock with a set of the plastic eyes on it and do great comedy with it. You can have the best puppet ever built and do no comedy with it.
Let me tell you what happened.
It's you.
I don't want to interrupt you, Tom.
No, go ahead.
I had a guy call me not long ago and asked me on the phone. He said, I want a new puppet. Can you tell me where I can buy a puppet that's funnier than Jeff Dunham's Peanuts? I said, I hate to break this to you, but Jeff could take a handkerchief and make it funny. It doesn't. It's the puppet. It's Jeff, but it's also his technique and his story and his comedy.
The puppet's a tool.
Exactly.
It's how you use that tool.
You look at Ron Lucas. You mentioned the sock.
Right.
Ron Lucas does a sock, turns it into a turtle, turns it into a couple of different things.
Yeah.
It's a funny bit. Yes, it is. It's your skill.
A lot of you have stolen it.
Yeah.
And we know who you are, and we're coming to your house.
It's your skill. It's your ability to ad-lib, your ability to think, your ability to create a character that's believable in the eyes of the audience. Right. So work on your character profile. Start really putting that together, really flesh it out, and then next time we do a webinar, we can continue on that vein.
We can build on that.
And yeah, exactly.
We got to do it again.
Eventually.
Well, Tom and I will.
Couple things real quick before we get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, you might not be invited back. A couple things before we get out of here. Please talk up the IBS. We've had a lot of members in the last couple weeks.
Is there a lot of good information in the IBS spotlights?
There is.
Absolutely.
There is.
Okay.
And
a lot of people don't think, I don't know. Go and look at it.
And if you're not a member, ask somebody who is. We have each month each time we come out with one, 6 times a year. Each one of us has an article that has stuff that'll help you.
And video.
It's a video and article. We've got right now 6 correspondents from around the globe who are reporting on what's happening in their countries.
Right.
We've got a feature interview. We just did David Strassman, who is huge in Australia. If you're not familiar with David Strassman, and he talks about how he creates his characters.
Right.
Okay, this is something we were just talking about. He goes through how he created his characters. He has some of the best defined characters, I think, in the business. So you don't want to miss that interview.
Right.
We're coming up. Jimmy Nelson. Mark and I visited him in April.
Right.
We've talked about it on Facebook.
I didn't get to be there.
I know, well, because Ken drinks all the Nestle's when we go. But what happens is we had over an hour of video, an hour and like 6 minutes of video after it was edited. It's an incredible interview.
Good stuff. Good
You
stuff.
do not want to miss this. We asked him questions that nobody else has ever asked him.
Right.
And
He said, "How much money do you make?"
Yeah, and he
No, we
answered.
didn't. No, we didn't.
And then we robbed him. But we love you, Jimmy.
We're never going back.
We're not in heaven. We don't know where we are.
That's right.
Anyway, but that's coming out in the August issue, which comes out August 15th. And sign up, because this stuff, and it's there. The stuff that's already come out is there still for people to look at. We have discounts every month on product. This month we had the baby cry.
Right.
Mike did a whole, Mark.
You smacking that baby again?
Just a little.
It's smacking that baby.
But he did a whole thing on that. So talk about the IBS. Check it out. I find it amazing when people go, well, I don't know if I want to sign up for that. I don't know what's in it. You get those newsletters online 6 times a year. There's a lot of content there. There really is. And you're becoming a part of an organization that's going to grow. We've got great plans for that down the road. We'll be talking more about that in the future. We're constantly coming out with new products.
All the time.
Things for you.
Get your IVS pin. Show me your IVS pin right there.
Yours is crooked. Straighten it out.
I thought about the SAI. Head upside down. That's right.
The SI arrow.
That's right.
So,
good night, folks.
We hope to see you in Kentucky.
That's right.
If you can't make it, check out the ConVENTion. And thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you here, hopefully.
Come on down to Kentucky and knock out a tooth so you fit in.
Woohoo! How do we stop this broadcast?
Bye, guys. Good night. Thanks for being
Hit
here.
it with a hammer.
Good night.